Sony Computer Entertainment of America presents...
Eurocom Entertainment
What?
Software.
What do they present?
A
Bullets.
flashback to
Yeah,
the
it's a
middle of the
flashback.
game.
Oh,
yeah.
so that is... Oh,
Memories from the bottom of my heart.
So we're flashing back to a section of the game that really should have been explained during the main story. Exactly what Ellie had to do to get Joel on his feet in the first
the
place.
fuck...
I think we're safe. Joel?
How meta.
Joel? Shit. Joel.
This is all cutscene from the main game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, up
Including
until
the
this
anime,
point.
yeah.
At this point about, it would cut to black and then we'd have the winter section.
You gotta get out. Joel.
But no, this time it cuts to black and we have a between season section after a Naughty Dog logo. Yeah.
Like, we forget
Flashback.
who was playing this, who made this game right after loading it up.
But during our flashback, we have another flashback, which is actually 3 weeks before the main game starts. Hi, Riley.
Riley? Ow.
Okay, I don't think surprising someone when they wake up is the smartest thing to do in in this sort of situation.
Well, they're actually in town right now. In a military academy, in fact.
Well,
Yeah.
still,
I haven't seen you.
she did habitually go for the knife, so...
45 days.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. The thing about Ellie and Riley is that they're a
know
bit
what
more
happened.
familiar with each other than standard friends, you know,
All this time,
for reasons.
I thought you were dead.
Alright.
They're 14.
Alright.
Well, technically, Yoko from Gurren Lagann is 14.
I had to sleep under Liz.
I don't believe that.
No, she is.
Well, at least before the time skip, but yeah.
You're a firefly.
Wait, is Riley supposed to be that other person's daughter?
You still have it
No.
No, just
No.
buddy
What
buddies.
are you doing?
Oh, okay. She kind of looks like her, though, I guess.
Sure I don't get caught with the
Or maybe
That's
that's
that's racist.
There are no
Shut
people
up.
on the-
Now, I was wondering about Marlene and Riley being related at first too.
Are we cool?
You guys aren't calling Lewis racist, god damn
I
it.
disappeared and then-
Yeah, we wasted the one racist card on you.
Yeah.
You just don't rejuvenate that thing.
Let's get out of here and I'll tell you all about it.
Okay, so this is our game. We're following Riley around on mischievous misadventures for a day.
Intermittent with what is Ellie doing to save Joel?
We're gonna TP some clicker's house.
So are these, like, related in any way? Like, thematically or something?
This is
Not
this is
really.
the only real relation is that Ellie loses Riley at the end of the past flashbacks, and she is scrambling because she doesn't want to lose another person here. Never mind the fact that if she loses Joel, she'll be stranded in the wilderness with no one to help her.
Well, I mean, I get that, but, You really gotta stop cutting to this.
Slowly consuming me from the inside.
This would be a lot more funny if I actually knew what was going on in these shows.
I'm just staring at the barkeep.
What is he doing? Ellie, you're underage. Don't drink that.
I think I'm past the point where I want context.
Duct tape really does fix everything.
Well, she's using that strictly to keep.
Well, to be
pressure
fair, she doesn't
applied
have
to
any
the-
bandages, so she's just using...
Yeah, she's only using that to keep pressure applied to the wound, so that Joel won't bleed out while she's looking for proper first aid stuff. And that is the entire present day gameplay section of this thing. Searching a freaking mall for first aid stuff, which you
Can we
think
just use the
would be
first
easy enough
aid
to
kits
find.
that Joel has in his backpack?
Well, there's no guarantee you have any medkits, and gameplay-wise,
It's assuming you're playing
she's
on
actually
professional.
looking for
I'll be
sutures.
back in a flash.
Yeah.
Promise.
The Last of Us Left Behind. If you read that as one sentence, it actually sounds like the whole title.
How much is this DLC?
This was $15.
$15. Yeah.
$15.
Well, it's at least actual gameplay versus $10 for this costume pack.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, it's the,
Oh,
it's the only
I'll-
DLC for the single-player game. All the other DLC which is a couple bucks a pop, but it's all perks and stuff for multiplayer.
Where do you, Ted? Where do you draw the line with pricing and story DLC?
I mean,
Well,
it's-
here's
I mean,
the
I-
thing. I'm not too familiar with it because I'm the
Oh,
Nintendo
Nintendo
guy.
only.
I don't have
Yeah.
an awful lot of experience with DLC, but the most recent example I can think of DLC is actually Mario Golf, where for $15 you get 6 extra courses, which is a lot. And this section is like what? It can be anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, about that.
So it might be worth it, especially when you compare $5 costume pack DLC
Of course.
to it. It's just I don't know. I guess I need to. With my one experience with DLC, it's just a little. It seems. A
I
little
can
bit
put
pricey.
this. I can put this in contact. I can put this in context with other single player DLC story add-ons because there are quite a few of those in the Mass Effect series. They usually price $10 to $15 for stuff that is about this long. Albeit the ones in Mass Effect have more action in them. So I
Well, that's a
usually
more action-y
feel like
game, so.
I usually feel like there's more gameplay in those, whereas in Left Behind you're basically exploring and finding stuff like this and little trinkets and stuff that you can fool around with in the environment, whereas the entire charm of this DLC is entirely in the writing and in the interactions between Ellie and Riley before shit goes down.
Yeah, that's pretty much why you're investing in this DLC to begin with.
Yeah,
I mean, for the amount of gameplay you're getting, maybe it's a little overpriced, but I'm so used to hearing about $10 DLC for nothing that's worth it, or buy this item online to own it multiplayer and thus cheat your way to victory.
well,
For something that at least provides additional content to the game.
The
I'm
thing
happy about it.
The thing about Left Behind is it's lacking in gameplay, but not exactly in content. So if you're in it, like for me, if you're in it because you wanted to deal with more stealth scenarios with the infected, or some new kind of infected, or another action sequence or something, no, you're not going to get much of that here. It's very much just a story ad, and that's pretty much it. I wish they'd done more with it, but they didn't.
Key.
There's
when
we discussed it. I think maybe in an earlier part. It's just that I, for the most part, with DLC have a stigma to it because unless I know specifically that it's like say LA Noire, where the DLC were actually cases that couldn't fit into the game because they already filled the shit out of the CD. I know I'm getting more of the game with that. I just can't help.
What about something like Arkham City's Robin mission?
What, the like Harley Quinn's Revenge or something like that? Or,
Yeah.
But that Harley Quinn's Revenge is actually something I don't like because I think it has the DLC stigma where it doesn't feel like it had a lot of effort placed into it for something that's supposed to be an expansion or continuation of a game that you absolutely love to play. But then one of you guys counter-argued that, if too much of it was placed inside the DLC, then people will argue that it's something that should have been included in the game to begin with, and not so much.
Well, that depends more on when the DLC was made. Like, there have been some very fantastic fucking DLC missions that were made for games after, well after release. Lair of the Shadow Broker, Mass Effect 2 is like one of my personal favorite gameplay experiences ever. It's long, it's epic, it's got like actually better bosses than the main game in it, and I just wish game developers would do stuff more like that for their DLC, even though it takes a lot of effort, and this has actually got production values to that extent as far as I'm concerned, just not enough stuff to justify the interactivity, I guess you could say.
Well, when did this come out again?
This came out February 14th, my birthday actually.
Okay, so it came out a good couple of months
Over
after.
over half a year.
Yeah, so this is not like on
Day
disc.
day one,
On disc,
cash
no.
grab.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Like even if it's a day one, as long as it's not on the disc itself and you're paying for an unlock fee, I'm relatively okay with it, because it's its
Yeah.
own separate thing. Usually the teams that work on DLC stuff are completely different than the teams that are working on the main game, or at the very least they've been set aside just to make this one DLC section. So. I'm okay with that for the most part. It's just, putting it on the disc is a dick move all around. Looking at you, Capcom.
These transitions between present day and flashback are pretty dang abrupt. In any case, I had a train of thought. I lost it. It outran me on the tracks. Now I'm running after it on the tracks, trying to catch up.
Does it have
and
something to
it's-
do with DLC?
Yeah, it does. I just forget what exactly it does have to do with DLC. I am not that much of a. I don't have that much of a problem with on-disc DLC, as long as the on-disc content is there for compatibility and online multiplayer kind of things. Like, people make a big stink about costumes in online in like fighting games and stuff, but you kind of have to download a compatibility pack for that stuff, even if it's not on disc anyway. Otherwise, you're just probably going to see the other guy in a toga whenever they use their DLC costumes online.
I disagree. I don't think something like alternate costume should be on this DLC.
Nothing should be on this DLC, in my opinion.
Because then you're not paying for the disc. You're paying for what are you?
No.
Paying
You're
for?
never
An
paying
unlock
for the
key.
disc in the first place. You're paying for the right to use the as a license.
And that's
And everyone thinks that's bullshit.
Well,
I paid
everyone
money,
thinks
it's-
that's bullshit, but nobody started complaining about it until video games went
Well,
on disc.
it never really
It's
came
been
to
a
mind
thing.
that that's what you were doing. It's just okay. I bought the
It's-
disc. It's
I
fine.
I bought the Super Nintendo cartridge. It's mine. I can sell it to other people. I can break it. I can do whatever I want with it.
Do you guys remember every time you put in a VHS tape, there would be this FBI warning with text and stuff that you never read? That's basically what it was saying.
Yeah, I know it's a. Yeah, no, I know what it means. It's just one of those. There's no way for them to really enforce that. I bought the VHS. It's my VHS. I can do whatever I want with it. I can invite people to my house to watch it with me.
Yeah, because by technicality, doing something for like a public viewing, like a projector, that's illegal. Like something that, say, like if you were to take a DVD or a VHS and put it in a projection, and say like you have like a party out in the back or in a festival and have like a live viewing of a movie, that's technically illegal.
Yeah, but no one really follows.
But
that.
nobody enforces that. I've never seen any case where someone enforced the law for you can't do
it's
that.
like I bought the VHS or DVD. It's my DVD.
And then it's just where does the line? Where do you draw the line on that sort of stuff?
Yeah,
You
my
watching the
main
movie
point
with
is-
your family, is that illegal, or is it
My-
when you have 10 friends over or whatever?
My main point is that it's been a thing for ages, and people only started complaining about it.
Well, 'cause
when
this
it
is the only
became
time-
inconvenient for them.
Well, this is the only time it's been an issue.
What exactly are you discussing here, Lewis?
My main point is that if people are going to make a big issue of this, they should have made a big issue of it while the technicalities were still being discussed, rather than waiting 10 years for it to actually be a problem, and then making a fuss over it.
Well, it's only been a problem recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been
Since the
in
inclusion of
effect for a
DLC.
couple. But it's been in effect for ages and ages. At which point, it's really too late to actually do anything
Well,
about it.
how so in the older days compared to now?
The law there was technically still in place. It was just one of those. There's no way for them to enforce it, so it didn't matter.
I'm more talking about the DLC.
The only thing that really that you really ever heard about was people recording tapes and movies, and then.
Well, that's pirating. So
Yeah.
that made more
But
sense.
but it falls under the same set of rules.
Yes, but it's one of those. You're illegally distributing copies of it. It's not like I gave this to you. My copy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if it's one of those, If I bought it, I can do whatever I want with
It's
it.
like I'm just saying that I don't want to. It's like I find it silly making a fuss about that kind of thing when it's been around for a while. We just sort of either have to actively try to change it or deal with it, and not act like it should already be the way we feel like it should be when it's not. The only thing that I have an issue with is when they try to make things even more draconian than they already are, like through the used game limiting restriction stuff.
That
DRM, which is
in the
entirely new.
that falls in the same category though,
It
Loomis.
falls in the same category of rules, kind of, sort of.
See, look, because I'm
Except not.
getting. I think we're getting our messages mixed here because the reason why I hate on this DLC is just because you're not giving me everything that's inside the CD.
Ellie.
You're purposely limiting my access to whatever data is in the CD for the sake of getting more bucks. Getting more money out of me, and I don't like that. I mean,
I paid money for what's on here. I should get what's on here.
yeah.
Like, here's the way I look at DLC is you buy a pizza. It's just a cheese pizza. Okay, and you can pay an extra $5 or, however, for them to put pepperoni or whatever on top. It's not like you get a pizza, most of it's cheese, but there's one slice of pepperoni and you have to pay extra to eat the extra slice that they already put on the plate in front of you. That's how I
That's
look at it.
Fair way of looking at it, yeah.
That's my personal view. So anytime they put anything, because you can talk about the right to, you're not buying the disc, you're buying the right to play
On the other
what's on
hand,
it, but it still feels like it's.
let me just
ripping
get this
you
out of the
off.
way. The reason that I don't want to make a fuss about on-disc DLC if it's something as insubstantial as a costume that you need for multiplayer compatibility is because downloading the extra packs for the compatibility is a pain in the ass, and I don't like sitting there for half an hour downloading 8
Then don't
different
make it on
packs.
this. Then don't make it on this DLC in the first place.
It's not.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
but then
always
you have to
just
download
costume
it.
pack.
Yeah, but then you have to download it for
Sometimes it's like,
compatibility, and that's a
in
waste
the-
of time, and I hate doing that, and it's annoying.
No,
I'd rather just have it on the
That's
disc.
but no. If you have to download anything, then it's not on the disc. That I have no problem with.
Ah!
It's
So he's
when,
talking about compatibility.
I'm talking
What-
about costume compatibility packs taking 10 minutes to download, and that's annoying, and I'd rather just have it on the disc. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That is everything I'm saying.
we could. All right.